Hello internet, and today's video is going to be a Top 5 Wednesday Goodreads group run by Sam over at Thoughts on Tomes. Links are down below. So today's topic is favorite male-male romances. This is any sort of relationship between males, whether it be cis, transgender, bisexual, asexual, any form of male and their romances. Now, I was not quite sure whether or not these were supposed to be specifically canon romances, those already established in their piece of work, or they were allowed to be fanon romances, those ones that I just wish would happen, but the authors or writers will not give me my ship, no matter how much I pray to the ship lords that I get it. So I'm going to do first my top 5 canon and then my top 5 fanon. First we're going to go with Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. I really love Simon and Baz. It's the only reason why I bought Fangirl, because one of the biggest complaints that I hear about Fangirl is how much Simon and Baz material is in it, and I'm just like what? Okay, I'll read it, because I only wanted the fan fiction out of it, so I'm currently reading that. But this is about Simon and Baz. So Simon is the chosen one character. This is like a Harry Potter inspired world, and Baz is his roommate, and they've been roommates ever since they're 11. They sort of have some sort of animosity towards each other, like young kids do when they decide that they're going to pick out some kid to be their arch nemesis. And eventually it turns out that it turns into a more romantic relationship. Simon, I'm pretty sure, is like bisexual or pan at least, and then Baz, I'm pretty sure he's just gay. But I really like their relationship. I love how cute they are. I like how they just turn in their little enemy obsessions into love. Next, we have the couple from The Shadow Hour by Melissa Gray. This is the second book in a trilogy. The relationship is introduced in the first book, but it sort of comes into being in the second book. Now, this whole series is about a war between two different species of humanoid people. One is referred to as the avian. They are descendant from a bird-like people, and one is the Draconian. They're descendant from dragon-type people, and they have been at war for eons and eons, and the relationship in this happens between Jasper, an avian, and Dorian, a Draconian. Now, while Jasper is more neutral in however he feels about this war and the Draconians and the avians and the whole realm of what's going on with this magical undercurrent, Dorian has been super involved in this war, being a captain of the guard to the Dragon Prince. So he has a lot of hatred towards the avian people because he's been trained to be like this. So it's really interesting to see how Dorian has to kind of put aside his hatred and his rage and all of these things that he has been taught over the years, even his fear of the avian people, to come to love Jasper and to realize that all of those prejudices aren't anything. And I liked how that worked, because it would make sense that if you have a lover that comes from the opposite side, you don't all of a sudden go, oh yeah, they're perfectly good. But at the same time, Dorian is slowly learning that this hatred is unfounded and that he shouldn't have it. Plus, Dorian is a character who had an unrequited love for his prince. So it's really interesting to see him not only try to struggle to get over all of these issues that he's having when it comes to the avian species, him trying to love Jasper and Jasper being really flirtatious with him and him being all blushy and stuff, and then him also trying to get over an unrequited love that he has had for 100 years. So I just really like the relationship. I liked how it worked. I liked the angst in it, but that it wasn't overdone, and it was adorable, and I liked it. Next, we have Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I don't actually own that book since I read it on ebook, so I'm going to hold up my copy of the Iliad. If you're not aware, Song of Achilles is based off of the Iliad and the story of Achilles, and just the whole Iliad, but told by Madeline Miller, and really having this focus on Patroclus and this story being told from Patroclus's eyes. It is about Patroclus and Achilles and their love, how it grows grows and it blossoms. If you've read the Iliad, you know how gay for each other they are, but of course historians don't want to admit it. So Madeline Miller, being the lovely person she was, wrote a book that just fully detailed how gay these two were for each other. So I liked it. It was a very good book, and I really enjoyed it because I don't even like Achilles. Like, I think he's a whiny baby, but seeing it through Patroclus' eyes, I was like, go get your man. Like, you guys just work together, and I liked it. On another note, this is just like a bonus point, but out of all of my like classical sort of literature that I like, my favorite male romance is actually from Gilgamesh, between Gilgamesh and Intu. He's like this wild man, and they're literally described as being like soulmates for each other. Like, they're two sides of the same coin, and they are like the completion to the next one. But whenever I bring it up, everyone's like, well, no, they're not gay for each other. And I'm like, you're destined to be soulmates, but they're not gay for each other, and your excuse is because they both slept with women. They're two bisexual dudes who are super gay for each other. But that's a side point. And my last canon male romance has to come in the form of Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee, between Monty, who is bisexual, and Percy, who it's never really explained. Maybe he's just gay. I don't know anything outside of that, but like, this whole book is just very character driven, very character heavy, and I like seeing how they are two best friends who sort of foster this relationship, with Monty being really in love with his friend, and then how they have to admit to each other, yes, we actually do love each other, and we need to figure out how to work it out. And because of like all of these things going on with the society and stuff, it's really hard for them to admit to each other. So it has like some good angst in there that I was like, I can deal with this, and I like it. Angst is like a tricky topic for me. I don't want you to go overboard with it, but if you can hit like this little sweet spot, I'm there for it. Oh, I have one more canon ship, but it's a webtoon, so that's why I almost forgot. But this canon ship comes from a webtoon called No Way. I really like webtoons, and this one is just really beautifully drawn. It is about two people who come from like two separate kingdoms, one being like a sort of night kind of kingdom. They're like darker kingdom, vampires, that sort of darker creatures, and one is a lighter creature like elves and stuff. Two princes from these two different kingdoms are betrothed to each other, and now they have to like go to school together and like get to know each other before their marriage. But there's like some backstory, and they're just like really cute together, because like the little elf kid, he's just like, yep, I'm just gonna do whatever, we're just gonna be together. And then the other dude's just like, can you please calm down and not being so joyful? Yeah, they're just such a cute relationship, and I'm really invested in their backstory. Like, I really want to know more about this backstory and this kingdom and this magical system, because I'm like, tell me more, please. So waiting for updates is very painful, but I'm waiting patiently. So now on to fanon ships. These are the ships that they're not established, but I wish they were, because I really like them. So we're going to start off first with another webtoons. This is called Lookism. Now, Lookism is a very interesting webtoons. The shortest description that I'm going to give is, there's this kid named Danny. He's very short, he's very overweight. He ends up moving to Seoul, Korea. This whole webtoon takes place in Korea, but he moves from his little smaller community to Seoul, and he's living by himself. He ends up waking up one day with like this body next to him, and he's like, who is this hot dude next to me? What is going on? And it turns out that he can like switch between his two bodies, his original body and this new hot young, the Korean pinnacle of beauty body. And it's like telling this different story of like how he got this body, of like him going to school in it, about like how you can't judge a book by its cover. It's just a really great webtoons. But in it, there is a character called Jay, and I just really ship him together with Daniel, because Jay is this really quiet, sweet person, and he befriends Daniel, and he is in love with Daniel. Like, No lie, we all know it. We all know he's in love with Daniel. And Jay doesn't even talk, but Daniel always knows what he's saying and what he's excited about and like how Jay feels. And I'm like, you will be perfect together. And I know it's not gonna happen, but Jay and Danny all the way. Number 2 on my fan and ships is going to go to Captain Kirk and Spock. I don't even have to explain why space husbands work so great. Not only are they a great captain first officer team, but they would be great space husbands together, and I ship that so hard. I'm really there for Spock and Captain Kirk, or just Kirk and Spock in general, just whatever way, like, they're just adorable, and you can't tell me that that isn't a thing, because I know it's a thing, okay? Next, we're going to go with Teen Wolf, and of course, we're gonna go with Derek, which is Styles and Derek. I don't want to even explain why I like this. This is such a huge ship. A huge ship for the Teen Wolf community that I'm pretty sure everybody who has a Tumblr has seen this ship before and probably thinks it's canon. Unfortunately, it's not, but I still like it together because I just like how like opposing their characteristics are, but somehow like they worked really good together, with like Styles being like this really sarcastic dude and like Derek being like really broody. I think they work out together. I think they work together and I like it. Number 4 is going to go to Merlin, an author specifically from BBC's Merlin. I don't even like Arthurian legends because I don't like Guinevere. And I don't like Arthur with Guinevere in any sort of Arthurian legend. So in the case of the Merlin TV show, I would have just really liked if Merlin and Arthur had gotten together, because I think that they would have done well together, and that Guinevere just should have married Lancelot the first time all along and not even messed with Arthur, even though she knows she doesn't really love the dude. She loves Lancelot a whole lot more. Just let Arthur and Merlin be together, and then Gwen can do whatever she wants to do over on the side. I don't really care. And the very last one is calling back to my childhood. So back in the day, they used to have a program on Cartoon Network called Tsunami, which means that you could watch a lot of anime. I watched a lot of shoujo anime because that's the kind of anime that comes on. I still watch a lot of shoujo anime. And one of the favorite ones is Naruto. So my last ship is going to be Naruto and Sasuke. And I don't care that they now have Boruto and all of Naruto and everyone's kids. This is the face of a shipper who just, no. Naruto and Sasuke, all the way, all the way, all the way. Like, they literally spend most 200 episodes just yelling each other's names. They even kissed that one time. By accident, but it still happened. And they spend like all of their episodes just searching for each other and screaming each other's names. Tell me that Naruto! Sasuke! Naruto! Sasuke! Doesn't sound familiar. If you've watched Naruto, that's like 200 of the episodes. All of the episodes have like one scene where that's all they do. I'm gonna ship it because that's just how it works. These are all the ships that I have, whether canon or non-canon, of male-male romances. I'm really excited for next week, which is female romances. So stick around to see what my canon and fanon ships for that is. But if you like what you're seeing here and you want to continue to see more, click all those bunnies down below, and goodbye, Internet.